This is Anton from Beast in Black, and you're watching United Rock Nations.
Hi guys, I'm with Anton from Beast in Black to talk about the new album Dark Connection, which will be released on October the 29th via Nuclear Blast. So thanks Anton to having us.
Thanks for having me.
So Dark Connection will be released in a few weeks. So how do you feel about it?
Well, I'm always nervous. The albums are coming out, but excited at the same time. I hope, and the whole band hopes, that people will enjoy it and be thrilled about it, because it's been a long time since we released the previous album. So fingers crossed for the best. At least the first single is out and people can already enjoy that.
Yeah, that's right, the Moonlight Rendezvous. Absolutely. So our impression is that the new album is heavier than the previous one. Are you agree with that? And can you explain it?
Yeah, I think it's heavier, and well, I guess I see it also from a technical perspective and also from a compositional perspective. For example, there are more actual guitar riffs, heavy guitar riffs on the album compared to the previous one. You know, not just plain open chords but there's more rhythmical stuff.
Yeah.
That kind of sounds like a riff, and then the mixing, the production, those things make the soundscape probably heavier, like the drum sounds, bass, guitar, all that put together probably creates the feeling of a bit more heaviness in it.
Yeah.
But this is just my opinion. Maybe someone else can make a deeper analysis of this.
Yeah, but I think it's true.
Okay.
It's what we feel. Okay, and cyberpunk anime is one of the source of inspiration. From where came this passion?
Actually, from a long time ago. You know, I have been a fan of sci-fi since kid, but then I think in my late teens and early 20s, I kind of understood that, hey, there's this subgenre of sci-fi called cyberpunk, and I kind of started to check out movies and animes about it and read books about it, and then it just inspired me. And with my previous band, Battle Beast, the first album called Steel was cyberpunk influenced album. So to me, this Dark Connection is just a kind of a continuation of the journey that I personally started as a composer, as a fan of cyberpunk. But of course, for Beast in Black, it's a brand new thing to approach this theme and genre. And I'm happy to notice that so far, after this release of the first single, people seem to enjoy it, and they're not feeling alienated, but instead they feel like there's something refreshing coming with this. But to me, it's like back to the roots kind of a feeling, more like that.
And what is your favorite anime or cyberpunk anime?
Well, I guess Cyber City 08008 and Armitage the Third. Those two, for some reason, at the moment and for the last few years, I guess they have been my favorite animes.
Okay.
I know, of course, there are rating-wise and depth-wise and plot-wise much deeper and massive things and visually better made animes, but you just have to be honest with what resonates in you. There's something in these two that I really like a lot. Mm-hmm. But Ghost in the Shell is a classic in this genre, of course, and Battle Angel Alita. And there are so many of these 80s and 90s cyberpunk animes which I fully enjoy on the moment when I go on my couch and put it on. I don't watch them like, okay, now I'm gonna watch some cyberpunk anime that is much worse than what I like. I just try to dive deep into the whatever I watch or read. I always get absorbed so deep into the story, into the characters, what I see and hear, and kind of get emotionally connected to that what I observe. And yeah.
Okay, and is there a story or a link between all the songs in the album? And what are the main topics on this album?
It's actually not linked. I mean, it's not a concept album, but for example, there are two songs which Highway to Mars is purely based on Armitage the Third, but also Moonlight Rendezvous main influence is Armitage the Third, but Moonlight Rendezvous was also inspired by Blade Runner and Battle Angel Alita.
You can see it on the video.
Yeah, and I guess the main topic is dealing with the relations between humans and robots. Robots which are so advanced that they can be more human. They have more humane characteristics than humans. And then where do you draw the line? Like how do you treat, or how do you act or coexist with that kind of a creature, so to speak, like as a human? And that is the main topic, I would say, instead of dealing with this amazing technology and artificial intelligence. I didn't want to write about that so much about the tech side of it, but more about the emotional side, what it feels like to be in a world where there are these robots which are, you can take them for a human. They can be your friends, they can be your lovers, like even like that's what the Moonlight Rendezvous is about. There's a human like Hunter, but he falls in love with this gynoid woman, and they kind of cross the line that shouldn't be crossed. But in that world, humans are so cold that he feels like he feels more about this creature which isn't a human, but it's really a tricky like thing, like where to draw the line. And Philip K. Dick, the writer, was really like this, a master of this topic. And Blade Runner is based on his novel called like Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? That was the novel, and he often deals with this topic of like drawing the line. What is like, how can you justify your acts towards something that is not human? And in Armitage the Third, there's a heavy influence, of course, from Blade Runner, which is originally from Philip K. Dick's writing. So in that sense, there's also a connection, like the Armitage, Blade Runner, but also Bubblegum Crisis. This anime was also inspiring. There wasn't any single like episode from Bubblegum Crisis that was inspiring any particular song, but overall the like emotional level and the feeling wise, and that anime is also inspired by Blade Runner, which is like thanks to Philip K. Dick, who wrote the book originally. So that kind of, there's the connection. If you think about the sources, where does the idea originate from, and how the others have continued to refine and evolve the idea of the originator.
Okay. The songs are very cinematic, Have you ever thought about making a movie?
Well, I say that you can't serve two masters. I made a commitment to be a songwriter, and that's what I'm always gonna be. But I would love to participate in making a film, like to gather a team, to get like a really big budget, for example, and be part of that filmmaking. But I'm not a director. I'm not like a. It would consume me fully if I would dedicate myself to movie making. I don't want to do things like with half power, And if you can give your everything to one like art form, like movie making or songwriting, then you will not be able to last. There are so many people who want to do that thing clearly. They want to be filmmakers, and they're so hungry. They put everything there. And why should I like try to go there and just like I'm gonna try this a little bit? Life is too short for that. You're gonna give your everything, and if you want to be part of that, then gather a team and just be part of the team that can make it happen, and let someone else lead that ship, like some great director or storyteller who could make it. And I would be glad to be part of it, but never to make my own movie. Like I'm not meant for that.
Okay. Okay, and on the album, there are two covers, one from Manowar and the other from Michael Jackson, which is surprising, but it sounds very good. What was your motivation to choose this one?
Well, when me and Yanis talked about these songs, I think it was really intuitive. Like we felt that, wow, these are great songs. Well, we always knew those songs and loved those, but Yanis was the first one who said about the Manowar song that, hey, let's make a cover out of this. And I instantly felt that that's a great idea. And the same thing with the Michael Jackson song. It was a great song, and at some point when we started to talk about, hey, what if that would be cover? Then it was instant, like, yes, okay, we felt it. And you have to just trust that moment, that if it feels like that, then you know it's the right decision. And after many months later, we still felt that, hey, yes, these are great choices, even though we hadn't started the recording process yet or anything, but we still had the feeling that what we thought back then felt right. And if after that long time you still feel it, it means it is the right choice. But of course it is, because a good song is a good song. It doesn't become a bad song suddenly, because those songs are already old songs. They stood the test of time, became classics, and there's no reason to start to doubt that. And we just wanted to give our best possible treatment for those songs, to kind of honor them in the best way we could, to not to play around with them in a disrespectful way, but to really pick up the crucial and important things which were in the songs, all the details which we thought, hey, these small things what we hear, we think that these give some input for the song's value. So that's why we were really careful also with the detail. Often when you listen to a cover song, you notice that, yeah, you recognize the song, this is that song, but you notice that something is off. Like you don't feel the passion or some kind of a dedication. We treat cover songs with the same value what we treat Beast in Black songs. So we fully give 100% to those songs, and we hope that fans of Manowar and fans of Michael Jackson even will enjoy those. We really hope so, because we did those with the best we could, our best musicality, and like honoring those. There's not much more we can do, and it's important for us to like have the bonus tracks properly. And to have also them in all the versions of that are released of the album. Back in the past, it was common that maybe even nowadays some think that okay, there's gonna be this bonus track for this country or for this continent. But I was having also a discussion with the record label that hey, is it possible to have these bonus tracks for everybody, not just for one country or for one continent? Because we feel that there's value in these. Why should we not let these songs to some part of the world? Everyone should have those. If we give them the same treatment as for our own songs, why shouldn't we give them for everybody then? So
it's generous for fans.
well, we hope that then people will like them. We'll see, like 29th of October, the truth will be revealed.
Yeah.
Be like.
Okay, and let's talk about some songs. There is One Night in Tokyo, which has techno dance vibe with a heavy guitar. Can you tell us a little bit more about this song?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind, it's definitely the most Eurobeat and Italo disco influenced song of the album, and maybe the most uplifting, and has the most simple chorus, like a sing-along type of a chorus for people to really like get uplifted. You know, that song has the most positive energy, in my opinion, from the whole album in one way. And I've been a fan of Eurobeat, 90s Eurobeat, early 2000s Eurobeat and Italo disco for a long time, and that song was a way to kind of put those elements into a heavy metal song. We already did something like this back in 2016, when we were recording the debut album. There's the song Crazy Mad Insane, and it has like clear Italo disco like influence and feeling. So this is kind of an equivalent song to that, but it has more. It has this kind of a Eurobeat energy more in this one, more kind of hyped energy, so to speak.
Okay.
And it's based on, it's a hybrid of personal life experiences and fiction, like from lyric perspective.
Okay. Okay, and what about Dark New World? It is really a hit song with heavy riff. It's maybe a new single, or because it's really powerful.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, about the singles, I won't reveal the upcoming singles, but the song is actually one of the Berserk oriented based songs. There are 3 songs based on Berserk: Dark New World, To the Last Drop of Blood, and Broken Survivors. And Dark New World is the heaviest from those, I guess. And to me, it's like a traditional heavy metal song, more traditional if you compare it, for example, to One Night in Tokyo or Highway to Mars. But
Absolutely.
this is like a basic mid-tempo traditional heavy metal song, and it's the only song on the album and in Beast in Black history so far where me and Yannis both sing the whole chorus melody together. So it has some things we haven't done ever before in that sense. But yeah, I don't know what else to tell about that. Everyone can have their own interpretation of the song, and the most important thing is that it can be enjoyed. And if someone doesn't enjoy it, then go to the next song.
Okay. And what about the album artwork, which is really nice and it looks like a comic. Who did it? And how do you have this idea?
Well, it was done by Roman Ismailov, a good friend of the band and one of my best friends. It really kind of encapsulates the essence of the main theme of the album. Like the woman on the cover called Cynthia, she's calling for the beast like this, come closer, and there's some connection between them, but also Cynthia is connected through the cables to some device which we don't see. But it also says the title Dark Connection is explaining this thing what I told earlier about this Philip K. Dick's story, this which turned into Blade Runner movie later, like humans and robots. Like what is there? Where is the line when you can? Where do you start treating the robot like as a human, and if that line is broken, like comes all these moral and ethical aspects to it. So it's kind of a blurry, and there's tension in that, and like confrontation, and that's why it's dark connection kind of between those entities, like human and this robot that is really humane robot. So they have the connection as well, but not so clear. It's not something like easily accepted or something. So dark connection works on multiple levels, and you can see it in the visual form, like when you look at it, and also in the thematic way, if you look at the lyrics. And
okay. In November, you will begin a European tour with 2 shows in France. So what can we expect from these shows?
Well, that you will get 100% of Beast in Black input. Like we give our all. We will be there to entertain you, to be happy, to give good songs, have a good time, and we hope to see it like full houses with smiles.
Okay. Okay. And you name 3 times Berserk. Your first album is also inspired from the manga Berserk. Kentaro Miura passed away in May, and he said that he was afraid to not finish the manga. As an artist, have you some fear?
Yeah, I do. Like it's not a nice thing that you actually know already that there is going to be a lot of ideas, art, and like in many forums. It can, maybe there's some writings that will, I mean, music writing, songwriting is one form of art which I'm interested in. And you were mentioning the movies earlier. As I said, that's just one example. If I would be able to be part of something bigger, like bigger process, I would be excited about that. And all these things take time and effort and money, and you realize that there's a huge mass of good things that you cannot accomplish in your lifetime. I'm aware of that, but it's not something that you should be afraid of or paralyzed by. It's a thought that sometimes comes to the mind, but most important is that just don't dwell on it. You have to do what you can do now, like leave as much good behind you as you can. So in Beast in Black's case, it is, we want to leave as many good albums as we can, to play as many good shows as we can, and make much more like ambitious music videos and promo pictures which are like interesting. We want to give more and more, and and whatever we can do in this lifetime, that we just have to accept that's it. But
okay. So, but thank you for this interview. So we were waiting on the October 29 for the album, and in December in France to see you on stage. So thank you again, and see you soon.
Okay, thank you very much. It was a nice conversation. Thank you.
Thanks.
Ha ha ha!